And hello to all my Taurus friends. I would like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and I will be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for August of 2021 today. And we are going to be looking at a Celtic cross spread. It is a 10-card spread, a lot of information, usually centered about one topic, but it can venture off a little bit. It can go a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but mostly it's wrapped up around what's going on right now, kind of the window of what is going on in August. So it's perfect spread for a monthly reading. Now the cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save time. Now I'm going to bring you in. Go ahead and hit that like button and build up the energy in here. I will give you guys props, Taurus. Last month you guys did phenomenal and were one like away from first place. That close. So this month let's get you over the hump. Go ahead and hit that like button. Represent for the Tauruses. My rising sign is a Taurus. So what I'm doing now are my ritual cuts. Basically cuts the decks into 3 different pieces and puts them back together in a separate order. And then that satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It's the same procedure for my personal readings and pretty much all the work that I do with tarot. And then they're ready to run. Taurus, August 2021. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is behind you. This is in front of you. This is above you. This is below you. There's our cross. All in view, I think. There we go. 7, 8, 9, 10. This is going to not be in view. I'm going to try to move this just for the camera so you can see it. And then I'll put it back nice and pretty once I get you out. I am going to need a couple more cards. Usually I usually don't use many angel cards in the Celtic Cross, but we do have some major arcana cards that pulled up for you. So it's going to require that. Interestingly enough, all running up the side except for the center. Actually, how many blockages do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Discard. Okay. When that happens, there are actually so many inverts that it's taught that you have to revert them. We're at about 70%. I usually do 2/3, so we're right at that cusp. So I did a discard that basically gives them the opportunity, well, do you want me to leave it the way it is, or do you want me to upright them all? In this case, we are going to upright them all. So that's what I'm doing right now. Sorry for taking so much time doing this. Sometimes they are just complex, more complex than other times. And now the extra cards. This was here. This was here. I'm going to check in 1 second to see if you can see all this because I know I'm now all over the dang place. Cross should be in view. Running up the side, not so much. So let me get this out of the way now that you've seen this for a while and show you this. This is going to be 10 up here. 7, 8, 9, and 10 running up the sides. Okay, let's get to work, Taurus. And then I can expand it back out. Okay, Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. They start by talking about a lot of you Tauruses are hanging on to something you really need to let go. They're saying you're being a little bit of a hoarder and it's time to let go of something. This can be a lot of different things. Usually it's something physical. It's usually not a habit or an emotional attachment. Usually this is something actually tangible and that they want you to get rid of. This could be old stuff that has just been sitting around and you need to get rid of it or repurpose it or sell it. Something like that comes up. Like some kind of purge needs to go on. You've been basically hoarding something for too long, and it's them giving you permission that it's time to let it go, release it back. Okay. The context of that is going to be different for everybody, so it's all really about finding what they're trying to say and how it applies to you specifically. I have a video on that if you're interested. I guess it's also a good time to tell you that this is a general reading. There are a lot of you Tauruses out there, and we're sharing this bubble energy with so many Tauruses. If you're looking for a reading that's specific to you, I do offer private readings on my website, scottsagent.com. So we start with the Hoarder card. Right next to that shows the immediate influence. They show that something is at the same time collapsing and breaking down. Now, that may sound like a bad thing, and it may be, but at the same time, it's not always bad. It's really representative of just a sudden change. Probably something you did not see coming whatsoever, maybe blindsided by a little bit, or just something that needs to be gutted down to like the bare level of something, like the foundation. And if we're going back to the original card, the Hoarder card, they're probably talking about something physical again. It's getting down to the nitty gritty, getting down to like the bones of something. It could be, having to go the whole 9 yards with something, go all the way with it. That's why I say like get down to the bone. So it's like if you're replacing like redoing a bathroom or something, and you replace one thing and then you realize that something else needs to be replaced, and you got mildew behind this, and now you got to do this. It's kind of like that. So it's talking about getting down, like doing the whole thing and doing it right, like getting down to the base of it. That's the first thing they talk about for Tauruses. Now that could be, you got to wrap that up in the context. So that could be about finances. That could be about your health. Please try to expand your thinking. At least the very beginning is the most important, because once you attach where the trigger is, then the rest of these messages can tie into it. It makes the rest of the reading make a lot more sense to you. So as we move into card number 3, that is the past position. They're saying that a lot of you have been, in the recent past, been socializing. The social card comes up. It could be seeing friends that you may not have seen for a little while, or that have been jumping back into your life. It could be people from your past as well, or it could also be family gatherings, family reunions, family visits. Seeing family more often than usual can come up for that. Basically just a very social, interactive card. It has an emotional attachment, obviously a pleasant one, and not much to say there. It's really just kind of validation for the ones of you that have been doing that in the past. And it's not like, even if there was advice, we can't go back and change it anyway. It's the past. As we move into the future, what they're talking about is it's read two ways. It's the Page of Cups. It's either a love message that's coming in. Well, it's set in the future, and we're reading for August. So this is either going to be I'm struggling with it, because I feel like it's one of two things. It's either going to come early. It's either going to come early in the month. I don't think it's going to come late. It's either going to come early in the month, or it's a message for later. I think for most of you, this is going to be early in the month. And depending on when you're actually watching this video, it may have already happened. This is usually beginning of the month. Yeah, I don't feel like it's a different month, even though it's a future position. Let's just put it this way: if it doesn't happen within the beginning of the month, let's say by mid-month, if there's no love message that comes in, and being a love message, it can be a lot of different things, but it's basically something in regards to either your love relationship or your relationship status. A love message, if you're single, could be like getting information that somebody's interested in you, or going on a date, or an invite to a date would be a love message. If you're in a relationship or you're married or something like that, a love message can spread out and be more about family. It doesn't have to be about from your significant other. It is just a love message. So it's news. It's message coming to you in the future position. If it doesn't happen early in the month, I'm going to say I don't think it's going to happen late in the month. I think if it doesn't happen early, it's a future time. So I'm going to talk about the moon cycles now, because I just have to get out there and kind of set the stage for you Tauruses. For those of you that are single and looking for love, take advantage of the lunar energy of the new moon. The new moon comes in August on the 8th, so beginning of the month. That's what's coming in the message here. That's the time when you want to bring something new into your life. That's why I'm talking about my single Tauruses right now. That's a good time to do something about it and get out there and be proactive about it if that's something you're trying to do. That means that there's going to be good suitors out there now or during that beginning of the month. Later in the month, we're not sure because they're talking about the beginning. But at the beginning, it's hot. And that lines up with the lunar cycle of the new moon. Now, the full moon comes on the 22nd. That's when you want to get something out of your life that doesn't benefit you anymore. It's like the garbage truck of the universe. Send it off. It could be people. It could be stuff. You know, we started with the hoarder card. That would be something that you want to make sure you take care of by the end of the month. It's just an opportune time to do that, to do any of those things. With that, we're going to probably, it'll tie in more to when we talk about something to purge out of your life. But just to set the stage for it, since I'm talking about the moon cycles, I put together a cheat sheet for the moon cycles, a little graphic, if you will. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is be part of the newsletter email program. I send 1 email a month. You can sign up for that on the website, scottsagent.com. It's at the bottom. You enter like your first name and your email. It's like so easy. But anyway, I will send you back that cheat sheet. It'll show you all the moon cycles through the end of the year. Very, very resourceful information to use toward your benefit. As we move on to the above position, this is saying something that you're already aware of. For a lot of you, this is a boss. They're talking about a situation with your boss. This may relate to the initial story. This may be a segue or a break off from it. I don't want to attach it too strong because it is my first swords card I have coming up. For a lot of you, this does mean a kind of a corporate boss. So they're saying that something is going on that you're aware of with your boss. So maybe, I mean, it could be so many different things. I don't even really want to speculate. But they're saying that that you're aware of it, and perhaps the boss may be aware of it too. If it's not that, if it's not the person, it could be just they're bringing up a male, a very sharp-minded, smart male in the above position. This is saying something you're aware of. So if this is some kind of love attachment from the future message, they're saying that this could be somebody you've already met or somebody you already know as well. Something to consider. If it is not the person, the energy of the King of Swords card is taking great authority over your thoughts. They're basically telling me to tell you. They want you to kind of own your thoughts a little bit more. They say you have a tendency to drift. Your thoughts kind of are scattered. They want you more authoritative with your mind. Really kind of take control and not let your mind play tricks on you, really. The bottom position in the Celtic cross is always very interesting to me because that's something you're not aware of. That's something you don't see. And this is what a lot of people come in to these readings for. New love. They're talking about new love here. Very high probability in August. This does not give me a time frame. I did talk about time frames earlier in the spread. Go back to that. Listen to it again if you're not familiar with what I just said, because now I have another cup. I have, which is the emotional attachment. In this case, Ace of Cups is brand new love or emotional overflowing and abundance. It's a very positive card, and that sits in possibility. Not anything you have to do anything about. If you're single and like it, fine. It's not for you. But if you are not and you want to do something about it, August is such a good time to do it for you Tauruses. It's such a good time for new love. And if you're already in a relationship, you're already in a marriage, whatever along the Taurus spectrum you are with your love and relationship, it's a good time to do something new. Bring it to another level. Try something new. Go somewhere. Go to a new restaurant you've never been before. Go check out a different vacation destination you've been wanting to do. All these things, very fantastic to do now in August. As I move into coming up the side here, the first thing for the advice that they want to talk about is having patience. They say that a lot of you do a very good job with patience, and that is kind of a rare thing for Tauruses. So good job for you patient Tauruses out there. So we really want to continue that, really kind of continue the patience. It means that your patience is also going to be tested, and that's why it comes up. So realizing it's going to happen this month and that you're going to have to be patient kind of lets you in on a little bit. You can kind of expect it. So when it happens, you're like, oh yeah, it's not a surprise. It doesn't blindside you or whatever. They also tell me message in a bottle. So people are trying to get messages through to you. And this may be physical from this side of the earth plane, or it may be from the other side. It's usually from the other side, but I don't want to tie it down too hard to that. But message in a bottle is following the signs that the universe gives you and looking out for them. And for different people, they're different things. Some people, look at cardinals as loved ones, a message from a loved one, or, see certain number patterns, whatever it is for you, start paying attention. Put the awareness out there to these things. Especially when you get impatient or you feel like you're about to get impatient, that's the card it's attaching to. So that whenever you feel that in August, that's when I'd like you to start really kind of opening your eyes and looking for these messages. The next thing I have for external influences, they show the Fate card, Star, and Wish Fulfillment. It shows that the environment around you and the things that I'm describing is actually very good. It's very good, and it's good not just because of your choices, but really just because it's the way it's supposed to be. It's almost written this way. It's almost outlined this way from the very beginning. They do say that you're in a fork in the road with your environment, so a lot of you may be contemplating moving or changing your environment, and that fluctuates. That could be a work environment, a work change. That could also be a physical move, like a house change, something like that as well. So your environment has a lot of options right now. It has a lot of choices, and you're being pushed in a certain direction with momentum. So it's less about your choices and just more about what's coming to you. Hopes and fears, I have I guess it would be a fear. It wouldn't be a hope. They show you leaving and not looking back. Leaving and not looking back. So a fear of, if you take a next step in whatever it is for you, different for everybody, taking your next step, you're not going to be able to get the traction back or maybe go back. So if it's a job, let's say some of you could be worried about leaving a job because the position might not be available to you once you vacate it or something like that. It could also attach into love and other areas. For a lot of you, it will be love. A lot of you are really afraid of... a lot of you feel like you need to move on but are afraid of it. Maybe afraid of your own tendencies to go back. There's a lot in there. There's a lot of depth. And I don't want to say too much because I almost feel like they're trying to leave it vague for a reason. They don't want me to tie it down too tight to the point where you miss the overall message. So that's what I have for your hopes and fears. It's really a fear is what they're talking about. So it's good to know that kind of stuff so that you just realize things. And then final outcome, they basically say to do things the right way. Do things the right way. They say that you're the leader to take charge in the situation and make sure you give yourself time to rest. They have time for a nap comes up, so it means that you're probably a little stressed. You're probably running to the ground. You probably try to be Superman or Superwoman and, save the world. And just August, it's time to do the right thing, get what you need to be done, lead your flock, take care of your people, and then relax. Just relax. That's really the final outcome for the month. It's the whole key to this whole thing is really doing things the right way. Make sure there's no toxicity. That's the other part of the card. Make sure everything is very pure. Your intentions are pure and your actions as well. So obviously karma is a big part of your month, and whatever you do this month is going to reflect back quite a bit. That's why that stuff comes up. Good karma comes back, but also bad karma comes back too. So we want to make sure that you're on the correct end of that. So that is our entire Celtic Cross spread for Tauruses. They did not want anything extra, and I can see why, because that was a lot of stuff, a lot to digest there. And truthfully, there's so much there, whatever part of it that you really tied into closely, you might want to go back and listen to again, because I'm telling you, this is one of my most detailed spreads that I have done for a Celtic Cross in quite some time, and quite a powerful spread. So I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you found these messages well. I'm going to see you guys in September. Please remember to subscribe so you see all the videos. I do one of these every single month, and I'll see you then.